Okay, we're going to do application of systems and equations and inequalities. There's only 4 problems, but each one is going to take a little bit of time. So let's talk about cupcakes. As soon as I look at the problem, I see cake baker, cupcakes are us. I see all the information. I'm looking for the minimum number so that this one is cheaper. So I'm going to have for cake baker, call that Y1, 75 cents per cupcake plus $35. And cupcakes are us is 115 plus $25. Since I already solved for y, it'd be easy for me to put them in my calculator under y1 and y2. And if I do that and I look for the intercept, I find out that x is 25. Then they're both $53.75, which would be when they're equal, not when Cake Bakers is lower. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the table, which is when I push second graph, which shows me the table. 24 cupcakes, Cake Baker is more, and 26 cupcakes, Cake Baker is less. So these are not right. It's going to be D, because you have to buy at least 26 before it's cheaper. At 25, it's equal. So 26 is $54.50 for that one, and $54.90 for that one, and 24 is $53 and $52.60. So there you go. Okay. I see in number 2 that I'm going to have inequalities because I've got no more than and at least. So if I'm doing at least 10 minutes, that means TV plus radio has to be greater than or equal to 10. And for the money, $200 times TV plus $50 times radio has to be less than or equal to 1,000. I'm not really comfortable with eliminating or substituting when I have inequalities. I could graph them because I know how to graph inequalities on my calculator. But I think what I'm going to do is just substitute in the values that they gave me in my answer choices, guess and check, and see which one works. I'm going to start with D. Since it only tells me 1 minute, I'm going to cross that one out because I don't even know what that minute's for. C has 4 minutes of television and 4 minutes for radio, needing to be greater than 10, which it's not. So C is not the answer. B has 3 minutes and 8 minutes, which is greater than or equal to 10. And A has 12 minutes and 2 minutes, which is also greater than 10. So I'm down to A and B. So for A, I'm going to put in 200 times 12 plus 2 times 50 and hope that that's less than or equal to 1,000. Well, 200 times 12 is 2,400 plus 100. So I know that one's not going to be my answer. So my answer has to be B, because 3 times 200 plus 8 times 50 is 600 plus 400, which is exactly equal to 1,000. So B is the correct answer. C, my two equations are sodas plus water equals 58. $2 for water plus $3 for soda equals 151. I don't know if there's an easy way to figure out besides solving which one's going to be bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract W from both sides. It's a bad W. So I have S equals 58 minus W. I'm going to substitute in 2W plus 3 times 58 is 174 minus 3W equals 151. So I'm going to subtract 174, and I'm going to end up with no room is what I'm going to end up with. Negative W equals negative 23. W equals 23. And since they have to add up to 58, 58 minus 23 is going to be way more than 23. So it's going to be 535. So this is my soda. So I definitely sold more sodas. Okay, number 4, last one. We're talking about an area for the chickens. And we're doing inequalities. So if he has a maximum of 55 feet, that means that 2L plus 2W has to be less than or equal to 55. And the length is going to be at least 3 times the width. So if I think about this a little bit, if my width, he's looking for the maximum width. So if I'm looking for the maximum W, then whatever I put in for W, this is going to be, the length is going to be the minimum. So that's the smallest length for the most width. And I think if I just pretend like L is equal to 3W, I can see when the values are going to be less than 55. So let's pretend like I maximize the width and minimize the length. And let's go ahead and put that in. So if these are widths, so I'm going to substitute in 6 for width. So I'm going to have 2 length, which is 3W. So I'm going to have 6W plus 12 is less than or equal to 55. Oh, I know what I did before. I went ahead and figured out what my length was. So if my width is 6, then my length is 18. So I put in 36 plus 12 is less than or equal to 55. That's 36, 46, 48. So this one is possible. If I put in 7, then my length is 21, and I have 42, that's A. So for B, I have 42 plus 2 times 18. No, 2 times 7 is 14. That's 42, 52, 56. So anything bigger than 6 is not going to work because it's going to be way bigger than 55. So A is my answer. We are getting to the end of Unit 4, which means you have a test coming up.